before we start, I would love to tell you that this Modpack overview doesn't have the APIs and the libraries in it. So these are still necessary, but they're not, well, included into this overview because they're just mods that, yeah, well, it's just a foundation for some other mods. So let's start with furniture, decorations, and building blocks. So in the first category, we have Architect's Palette. So Architect's Palette is giving you tons of new blocks for different environments. Basically, we have new textures, and it's way more survival friendly actually. So as you can see, some of this are like, for example, like the lapis lazuli or lapis lazuli. You can actually use those to build blocks, or redstone blocks or emerald blocks. So it's a fun way to play around, especially for people who are more into building actually. Then we have decorative blocks and the add-on modded compact. Those two are basically adding new blocks to build with, and add-ons with basically new types of wood. So for example, like we have redwood here or mahogany, jungle wood, and they are actually bringing these different types in that are like, for example, the support or the palisades. We have also beams, we have these big chains now, and seats in different kinds of wood types, and the braziers as well, the chandeliers. So yeah, it's nice to play around, a kind of medieval feel to it, this mod, so yeah, look into it. Next up we have fairy lights. So basically, as you can see, it's adding these fancy new lights that are very cool to actually hang around your house or your building. Yeah, it doesn't work so well with Optifine as you see, or this shader, like these things here. Sorry, I forgot the name. But yeah, it's very beautiful actually. Paintings plus. There are no paintings here because, well, there are custom paintings that you can add with this mod, and you can import your own paintings with it. And you just have to put it into the resource folder. And as well, there are already some paintings that you can download and put into this folder, so you can have tons of new paintings actually. It's so cool to add your own paintings now. Then we have storage drawers, which basically adds these drawers which have different drawers. You have like 4 here, 2 big ones, and the bigger the one, the more you actually can put into it. So as you see here, stack limit 8, and the big one has like stack limit 32, which is cool. You just can put like basically item in front, and then you know, okay, this actually is the item that is in it. Then we have supplementaries, and oh wow, actually I'm so sorry, I put a lot of stuff here, but there's a problem I guess with like translating that. Basically supplementary adds a lot of new small stuff decoration wise. I can share it here. That basically, yeah, it's adding a lot of new small stuff that you can use to build around. You have yeah, you have like a sack or something that you can put your items in. You have small decorative stuff you could put on desks and stuff. But yeah, very cool mod. I think it's cool to have it in here. So yeah, check it out. Then we have CK's decoration. CK's decoration is basically adding decorations with different styles. So we have like a Western style, a Chinese one, industrial, Maya, I think it's called Maya. So kind of like yeah, a tribal themed decorative type, and then you have different versions of that. As you can see as well, you have like new slabs and stuff, telescope for the industrial stuff. So very cool actually, to have a set of different decorative things. And that is actually it in this category. There's not really much more, but I think with the things that are in it, it's well, with supplementaries, I think I must have deactivated it somehow. But yeah, let's go to the next category. So the next category is crafting and cooking. With this one you have basically all kinds of things that you can craft or you need for cooking. We have a lot of new recipes in here, but mainly these four are basically the mods that are in here. First we start with culinary construct. It's basically letting you create sandwiches, bowls or stews out of your favorite food items. So it's very cool actually to add certain ingredients in here, and then you can build basically a stew or a sandwich or something, and you can name it. Very cool, and has a lot of hunger things that you can fill with this mod. So then we have drink beer. Well, it's pretty straightforward. You can drink beer now with different kinds of beer. You can brew it actually, and you have these fancy things that you can put on, those fancy boards on a bar or something. So cool to decorate and to have your own bar. Then we have Farmer's Delight, which is basically adding new ways to cook. Basically, you have new recipes, and well, you can see like these building blocks. You have pantries, for example, now, where you can store stuff in. So it's way cooler actually to cook now. You have a knife actually that can chop down like fruit or something, or vegetables, and then use these to cook on the stove. So way cooler than the normal cooking. Then last one is Raven Coffee. It's straightforward. You have different kinds of coffee now and can make your own coffee. You can also put the roasted coffee in here in the coffee grinder, and when you put it in here, it basically creates coffee, but just, well, yeah, it's straightforward. Basically, you put it in here, get the coffee, and you can brew it with certain things to make coffee. Quite cool. And they have these two new building blocks actually. But yeah, that's everything from this category. Let's go to the next one. So next up is equipment and tools as well. So it's just not equipable stuff, but also tools that you can use. And we start with Antique Atlas. It's quite a cool mod actually for having a new map. So you get this empty map actually, or you have to craft it, and then you can see basically your surroundings in a RPG kind of style, like the old ones that were 2D. So yeah, quite cool. There's also an add-on for waystones if you want to add this mod into this mod pack, where you can put waystones onto the map as well, or can mark basically where your waystones are. Yeah, quite cool mod. Let's put it back. Then we have Archer's Paradox. Archer's Paradox give you new arrows, new types of arrows. So you're not limited to the usual ones, but they deal basically more damage or have certain abilities. Yeah, quite cool, quite helpful. It makes it way more better, and that's what I think about this mod pack as well. It's a vanilla type. For me personally, it's more like a vanilla feel. It's not too far away, though it has technical mods. I think it quite nicely sticks to the vanilla feel. Then we have buddy cards. So around the world you will find buddy cards, or they will be dropped. And with these buddy cards, yeah, it's not working at the moment. You can basically collect them and sort them, and then you can get buffs, for example, tipped arrows, or enchanted books, or potions. So quite cool actually to use, to have all these different things. So yeah, look into them, collect them all. Then we have Chisel. Chisel is basically adding a lot of new blocks that you can use. For example, the modification table, and it's actually needed for chisels and bits, and that is, I think, most of the people will know and use it actually. Oh, sometimes it had rendering bugs here. But yeah, basically chisel and bits and chisel go along well. With chisel you can, for example, make like small objects, very tiny ones, very detailed ones. I made a whole video actually about that, but just with the another mod that is similar to chisel and bits, And it's quite cool actually to design your own house with very tiny detail. Then we have construction one. These are actually ones that you can craft and then help you to make bigger projects actually easier. It helps you to build basically, and makes it that you can basically do create a lot of new blocks very fast. So very helpful if you have bigger projects. Then we have corpse. Yep, I had to kill myself here to put my body down. But this is what corpse does, is basically if you die, then a body will spawn at that place. And then you can look into it, and I have an elytra for example here, you can loot yourself, so very, very helpful if you died already. Then we have cosmetic armor reworked. This mod is basically adding this kind of area, these kind of, well, yeah, things. Forgot the name. So basically you can put an armor over your armor, which is just for display basically. So if you have, like, for example, like netherite, and you kind of like, well, it looks kind of ugly, enchanted or whatever, you can put a nice looking armor over that, and it will only show these ones. Yep, quite cool. So then we go for crafting tweaks. Crafting tweaks basically enables that you have these buttons. You can rotate the grid. For example, if I put it in here, it lets it rotate. Then we have the balance grid, so it's basically balancing. Normally it should do that. Well, okay. You can clear the grid. So very helpful actually for doing fast crafting basically. Rearranging or looting the crafting bench itself with this one. Very helpful for crafting. Then we have dice. Well, now you have dices, and it's quite cool. I heard some play a game with this. You can roll dices. Oh wow, it's killing. Yeah, you can roll the dice, and then you have, like, for example, 6. You can play Catan or something with it. I don't know. But it's cool to use actually for sometimes making choices also. You can roll dice for that. Then we have a grappling hood mod. Basically adding a grappling hood and a lot of different kinds of grappling hooks. You can also have like enchantments onto that grappling hook. So quite cool actually for flinging around the world. Then we have improved backpacks. We have now backpacks in here. You can equip them and you can put them down the floor. Quite cool actually to go around. They're also upgradable. So if you, for example, like you can have like a large pocket that goes along with the normal backpack, or just craft new backpacks basically, and you can attach basically the pockets to your backpack, so it's quite cool. Then we have magic feather, and magic feather is this magic feather. You need charm for that, but it places basically that magic feather into that, and well, this feather is similar to Cradle Fly, but you need beacons in the nearby. So it's not as, I think it's called a flying ring or some angel ring in a different mod. This one is similar, but it's only possible near beacons. Then we have Nature's Compass. I'm sorry for that's a weird bug. Yeah, I installed Optifine for those who are wondering, and it's still not working quite good. I think it also needs to be a little bit better configured, I guess. But yeah, Nature's Compass. So Nature's Compass is basically giving you this compass, or you can craft that, and with that you can point to certain biomes, and the compass will then point to that biome, and you can basically find biomes very easily. Quite cool. Then we have Path to Dirt. Wow, this I like this mod, because, well, the problem very often is like if you have, oh wow, somehow it removed. Very often if you have like farmland, for example, you need to jump on it to go back to dirt. Well, now you can just use a shovel for that, to bring it back to dirt, or make a pathway and reverse, actually pathway reverse to normal dirt. Then we have portable stone cutter, basically adding this portable stone cutter, which you can use. put a stone in it, and you can craft different kinds of stone on the run. Then we have a rubber duck. And it's gone. No, it should be actually nowhere in here. But yeah, it's this rubber duck. Makes a cute sound.
Neep, 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 neep.
Yep, quite cool, eh? If you place it, actually makes a sound as well. And it actually makes a redstone signal. So it can be used. Normally you can put it on your head, but somehow there's a slot missing here. I already tried it, but yep, normally you can put it on your head. Then we have structures compass, so similar to nature's compass, but this one points to a structure that you can select, and then basically you can go to that structure. So very helpful. Then we have the mighty architect. So if you looked around the map here, there are a lot of new buildings, or a lot of buildings. These are all done by the mighty architect, basically tool. Well, let's see. This tool, well, you can go down here, and then you have different styles. You can also make your own styles, and then you can build a house with that. It can be circular, it can be a rectangle shape or something like that. So very cool actually to building huge buildings very fast. And well, you still have to light it and all kind of stuff, but quite cool, and it looks neat actually. It's good, it looks really good. Then we have Torchmaster, which adding a lot of new items, but they are all more for like preventing certain things. For example, this one, the Mega Torch, this big one, prevents mobs from spawning. Then we have the Frozen Pearl. It clears basically lights that shouldn't be there anymore. Yeah, and then we have like, for example, one for passive animals, and this one is an invisible light, which is quite cool, I think. And then the last one in this category is the water strainer. This mod basically adds filtering water for getting some resources, and we have also worm bin, which is cool. Which normally, like, yeah, you can use it basically, the worm bin, to put in the strainer for the weight, and then you have different strainers you can put in, and the better the strainer, the better the items. Yeah, you get a lot of new items, and it's good for some other mods. So yeah, this is all in equipment and tools, and so let's go to the next category. So now we have cosmetics, ambient, and structures. This mod area, or this category, is basically giving you all the stuff that you need for the surroundings, biomes and stuff. So yeah, let's start with Biomes of Plenty. Biomes of Plenty has more than 50 plus new biomes. It adds new trees, flowers, and basically enhances the world overall. So quite cool actually. It's, I think, a must-have. There's another one which is like all the biomes you go. It's similar to this one, so most of the mod packs have either this one or all the biomes you go, because both of them are really great actually. If you don't like this one, Biomes of Plenty, you can uninstall it and put all the biomes you go in, but I think both are cool actually. So then we have Darker Depth. Darker Depth is basically expanding the underground and makes them way nicer. You have different types of like ores. For example, like the silver ore here, and they're now found in the limestone, which I think is like nicer, because like sometimes there's yeah, the problem, the lower you go, it's kind of like not as nice. I think this mod actually helps with that, to expand actually that one. So yeah, Darker Depth. Then we have Dungeon Crawl. Dungeon Crawl is adding large underground dungeons basically. They're kind of like a roguelike thing. So dungeons are harder actually to go through and not as easy. And yeah, they have good loot actually. So yeah, look into it, go underground and go looting. Expanded caves. So with all these three combined, like extended caves as well, you have a nice underground system that is going around. Nice to go actually exploring underground. We have these pots that are very cool. You can loot those or smash them. You have stalagmites. They look better, honestly, if you compare it to the one, yeah, that you normally have underground now. Just my thoughts. Then yeah, rock piles, making basically the caves way better now. So no lakes in Forge. So in the biomes that you walk around, very often you will find out, well, the lakes are kind of annoying, and this mod basically removes them. Then we have Orkinos Caves, which is basically adding nicer cave generation. So along with the other 3, this one helps with the underground as well. So go around in the underground, it's cool to explore. Then we have repurposed structures. So basically we have structures that are now generated. They're basically using the existing vanilla structures, and they give them new varieties, so they rearrange certain things. So they have a lot of new patterns how structures are generated, and these get rearranged. So very cool now, the new structures. So sound filters. Sound filters makes it actually that, for example, if I go down here, probably can't hear it now. It makes a muffled sound, for example, like it makes it more, that you can't hear properly or so. If you go down or fall, for example, then you hear wind and other stuff. So really cool actually for going around. It also adds like reverb and stuff for the environment. So sounds are quite cool. Then we have the energetic dimension. And this buffs up basically the end, adds new biomes to it, adds new mobs and new kinds of trees and stuff. This is one of the mods that are, I think, very cool to use actually, and because the end is so boring. Honestly, it's like the most boring thing about Minecraft. I feel like it's the end. It doesn't have really depth to it. It just looks boring, and this one helps with that tons. Like, and there's another add-on if you want to install it that is also like linked to this one. So if you want to look into that another add-on, it also creates then structures. Yeah, look into the Modpack mod page of that, and you can find the add-on basically with it. Last one in this category is Desolation. So this one is really cool. It basically makes that we have new biomes with also new mobs, but it's kind of like a wildfire. So basically, if you go into that area, you will find like burnt trees, burnt soil, or charred soil here, for example. You have like ash ramble or embers down on the floor. So it's a very cool biome actually to explore. And yeah, check it out. Let's go to the next category. So next up is mobs and dungeons. This is quite a small category actually in here. Oh, there are flies down there. Basically we have AI improvement, which is dealing with the AI in general. So the pathfinding, for example, is way better for the mobs. They are more intelligence. It's also a performance and also logic upgrade for the AI. So massive, I think, but nothing more than that actually. Like, it's not adding new mobs, I mean. So aquaculture 2, it's adding a lot of new fish, and the sea and lakes and are way more better now, and the rivers, because we have new fish type. It makes it honestly so much nicer looking if you go underground in the water, I mean. Yep. Then we have exotic birds. Oh wow, he laid an egg. We have new birds that are different. So for example, like we have these ones. Hello, crane. Okay, yes, a crane. This one is a cassowary. Owls, for example, or this one. I think that's a, how is it called? Cardinal, yeah, right. So yeah, quite cool actually. A lot of new birds, not just these 4, but tons of them, but I couldn't spawn them all because it would be just too much. But yeah, a lot of new mobs. And last one in this category are Straw Golem Reborn. So those of you who know it, it's basically a helper for your field or for your crops, and will collect them and put them in the chest or nearby chest. Quite easy to craft. It's only like a block of wheat or hay, I mean, and then on top of it it's a pumpkin, a carved pumpkin, and then you have this tiny helper. So let's go to the next category. So let's go to magic. As probably some of you know, I don't really like this category because I'm not into magic and stuff. But yeah, let's go through it. So we have enchanted book redesign. So some of the books look different now. So it's easier to sort them and know like, okay, this book is for efficiency or riptide or something. So it's quite easy to get a nice overview, and it makes actually the enchantment books nicer. Then we have Forbidden Arcanus, which actually adds like these magic themed building blocks. We have also different items now, or weapons and tools. But yeah, I'll leave it to you to explore them. Most of them are just, yeah, similar to Minecraft things. Then we have Reliquary version 1.3. Yeah, basically adds like magical themed small things, like dealing extra damage or absorbing damage or something. And yeah, you can find them all over the world. They're scattered around. Yep. And then we have Occultism, basically a magic mod about the occult. Yep, if you like those things. And that's basically it. There's no more thing actually in this mod category. And let's go to the next one. So, almost last category. This is tech and mech, so technical and mechanical things. Starting with advanced rocketry, which is basically letting you create a rocket and fly to other planets. So very cool actually. This is bugging actually. Yep. So yeah, cool to actually make your own rocket and to create it, but it takes some time. It's not as easy, but give it a try. Applied Energistics too. Basically it's making use of energy, and you can basically make huge things with storage, with wireless things, with mining and having networks. So for those people who like the technical mods, this one is probably your mod. Quite a cool one, and it adds nice to the other ones that are still to come, with like, for example, the pipes and stuff. Then we have Create. And this one has a bug as well. Yeah, it's probably because of Optifine. Create is a very cool mod. You basically have now mechanical things. You can like rotate certain things, and to make energy out of wind or out of water. So the water was here actually for spinning wind water turbines. And they create energy, and which you can transfer then to, for example, craft certain things or to automate a whole crafting thing, which is really cool. You should definitely look into this mod. It's the main mod actually in this mod pack, so give it a try. Really, honestly, I love this mod. Yep. Then we have CC Tweaked, which is a mod which is basically all about computers. As you can see, you have like certain things like the modems and the monitors. If you like technical mods, like this one is probably for you as well. It's not really my one, so I can't really say so much about that because I didn't look much into it, but this is a great mod actually for the technical things. Then we have pipes, which is basically small. It's just these pipes that are customizable, very simple for item transportation. Very cool actually to be combined with the other mods. Then we have Ponder.js, which is basically the add-on or a thing that helps for create. So as I can press normally here, normally you have a button that is like for Ponder. You can basically look through the different create things, what they do and how you can change it. So very nice actually to use with Create Together, and it's a helpful guide, I would say, and you can make your own Ponder designs with it. Then we have Portality. You can create your own portals, so not like another portal, but this one creates portals all over the world if you want. You can transfer items and other things with it. Quite cool to basically go over a longer distance quite quickly. It doesn't have like an animation as the nether portal, so it's not quite as annoying. It just straight goes through. Then we have pretty pipes, which is basically adding new different types of pipes and different types of blocks. So yeah, it gets a bug actually. As I said, like Optifine is not at the moment well programmed here or configured. But yeah, I hope it's not quite as annoying for you. Yeah, but it basically adds these different pipes for item transportation. And then we have the main mod Project Red. And there goes the core one, the illumination, the integration, and the transmission. Basically, this one adds the redstone circuitry, or adds to the redstone circuitry. The core mod is obviously the core mod itself that you need for the other ones. And then you have the illumination, which is basically adding decorative redstone control lighting. So basically you can add lighting to it, which is quite cool over the redstone signal. Then we have integration, which is basically, now we have it. The logic gates, or it adds logic gates, and you can basically replace very large multi-block circuits, which is, I think, very cool to remove redstone and to make new designs. And then the last one is transmission. It's basically redstone wiring that can run up walls, so it's quite cool to go around and not to be dependent onto the ground, but you actually can use walls now. And you can connect around corners and merge together into a bundled cable, which is, I think, very cool actually, to be flexible with redstone and not be reliant onto the ground. And then the other one is thermal expansion. It's quite a big one and quite an old mod actually, as I looked into the Modpack, into the mod page. And we have the add-ons foundation, innovation, and locomotion. Basically, this one plays around with thermal energy. It's the main mod, basically the expansion one. It's a combination of technical things and magical things, and the basic stuff and resources go with the foundation mod that is with it. The other one is the innovation one, which helps to create power tools and gadgets, and the other one is the locomotion, which is for rails and minecarts, basically, to add with the whole technical mod. Yeah, and then the last one in this category is Tinker's Construct, and quite an old mod as well, as some of you veterans know. There was a mod pack which is was quite big for on YouTube. But yeah, you have new types of building blocks with it. You have tanks, fuel stuff. The mod itself, as the author said, it's basically putting tools together, modifying them, repurposing them. You can see it here if you look into Tinker's Construct. You have, for example, like a hammerhead, which you combine with a different staff, or a different... sorry, I get sometimes not the word, the handle, I mean. So you can combine these and create great tools that help you, and as well armor, as you could see. So really, really cool actually, to create new stuff. So yeah, let's go to the last category. So last category, which is the biggest one actually, it's Game Changer and Miscellaneous. So some mods you probably will find in here that are not in, well, cannot be put in the other categories. So I put them in here, so check it out. I try as fast to go through them because some of them are just fixes and stuff. But yep, let's look into them. We start with, the first one is apple skin. Basically, apple skin is needed for like showing you how much a food offers you, or like what value a food has. So you can see basically, well, what does a steak give me? It gives you like 4 of these hunger bars of the the food thing. So it's easy to see actually what value a food item has. Then we have back tools, which is showing you what tool you last had on your back. I didn't have one, so what I can do, can put a wooden sword, and now the wooden sword is on my back. Basically shows me what tool I had last time, which is cool for like RPG kind of style. Then we have Bad Wither, no cookies reloaded. The problem with Minecraft Vanilla is like sometimes you have the sound of a dragon and the wither and it's not actually coming from the right direction. So this one fixes that actually, so you can hear it from the right direction. Then we have Bad Advancements. With Bad Advancements, basically you can look up into your advancement now. It upgrades them, so it looks way better. You can see it here, that you can skip through the different advancements. So yeah, quite cool. Then we have Better Burning, which is making that fireworks way better. For example, like also how it is rendering, or well, how it's optimizing the game. Then also like skeletons can shoot burning arrows, which I think is quite cool if they shoot through fire. And fire can spread actually way better. So yeah, quite a good mod. Then we have Catalog. Catalog is better showing the mod list basically. So normally you can look it up here. Oh, sorry, no, it's, yeah, you need to look it up in the main menu. There you can look up the mods basically, and this one is, yeah, making it that it looks better. Then we have Chunk, no go, bye bye. Basically, it's just a chunk loader for letting you load a certain chunk that you need. Chunk pre-generator is similar, though it just pre-generates a chunk, so there's no, well, it's optimized. I think it's better on the PC and on the server. So as I would say, like this mod pack is more made for like servers really, so not just play alone. Just looking into this mods, you will see like a lot of mods are for like many players. Then we have clumps, which is actually optimizing as well. It clumps basically XP together, so it's lag reducing, and it's nicer on the server then. Then we have configured, which is needed for configuring certain mods, for example like GEI. Through configured, you can basically configure now GEI in a different kind of way. So yeah. Then we have connectivity, which fixes several connection bugs basically that occur sometimes. Then we have controlling, which is adding a search bar for key bindings basically. So if you're looking at controls, you can basically look up a certain thing that you need. Then we have crash utilities, which is basically some bugs that occur or some crashes. Then you have tools for that to actually find where that is the problem. You can easily fix it, and it's fixing some common server problems. Then we have default options, which is key bindings. Basically, sometimes when an update occurs, the key bindings are removed, and with this one, that actually, yeah, changes. They are not removed after that. Then we have ender storage, which makes that basically you can link ender chests with color codes, which is, I think, very cool. So the ender chests are not just one chest, but basically you can wire them up. Then we have exchangers, which is well, you can easily exchange a block with another one, which makes it quite powerful, I think. Then faster furnace minus replacement. So an optimization mod, which makes it that furnaces are faster, and it makes a certain things away, which is called the registry, the replacement. So yeah, it's a technical mod. If it's probably not for people who are interested in the other mods. It's more for developers that kind of know, like, okay, what they're dealing with. Fast leaf decay. Well, that is an easy one. I know about that one. It's basically making leaf decay faster. Faster workbench. The same basically for the other ones. It remembers the last recipe, and it's a performance upgrade for the workbench. Then we have ferrite core, which is optimizing the memory usage of Minecraft. So it's quite nice for actually going around, for playing actually. Flywheel, this one is quite a common one as well. A modern basically rendering engine, for Minecraft. So yep, it's quite needed for some mods. Then we come to the last part, which is FTB. So everyone who knows everything about FTB, these are 5 mods that include in here. So as I said, like it's more for server owners. So the chunks one, for example, makes that you can claim a chunk. The quest ones makes that you can quest as the team. The ranks one gives you the ability to like have ranks on your server. Teams is for like a team progression, for example. Yeah, that is basically everything. Then we come to inventory sorter, which is, yeah, well, it's easier for the inventory to be sorted. You can drag, for example. Yep, quite cool actually to be used. Then we have Jade, and Jade is that what you see on top the whole time. It's basically you see certain yeah, you see progress bars and stuff. So quite easy actually to know what you're actually looking at. Then we have create, we have cube.js and the add-on create and thermal. Basically this one does that you can edit recipes or add new ones, add new custom items. You can add script world events. Then we have the create integration and the thermal integration. As you know, these two are on the Modpack as well. Then we have Lootr, which is basically for that everyone gets loot. It's just annoying someone running in a dungeon and loots everything off out of the chest. This one actually makes it that everyone has loot, or gets loot basically. Then we have metal barrels. You have different types of barrels now that give you more space depending on what it is made of. So quite cool. Then we have more minecarts and rails. So new rails and minecarts that have new functions. So very cool for those who play around with carts and rails. Then we have more observers. So normally you have only one, but this one, yeah, looks into, okay, what is standing in front of me, and depending on what type it is basically, for example, like this one, is it a mob? So yeah, quite cool actually for those who like to play around with redstone and technical things. Then we have Morpheus. Yep, Morpheus, which is letting you sleep vote. So very often it's like, well, oh, this one is not bad, how annoying. Now you can actually vote for sleeping, and you don't have to go to bed. Then we have mouse tweaks. Mouse tweaks, well, it's adding a lot of new functions to the mouse buttons and the inventory management. So similar to inventory sorter, this one adds new functions to the mouse. Then we have Open Loader, which is letting you load data packs and resource packs that, well, basically are applied globally across all save files and in a game instance. So yeah. Then we have Ore Tweaker, which lets you tweak how many ores are spawned. For example, you can disable certain ores. It's needed because we have different types of new ores actually in here. Then Patchouli. Patchouli is making basically that you can create your own documentation, quests, etc. with progress stuff. Yeah. And then we have shut up experimental settings, straightforward, it just removes that actually. Then we have Spark, it's performance upgrading tool for profiling what is actually causing a problem and stuff, so quite useful. Then we have a spawner bug fix, which is only needed with custom spawners, and world shape, which lets you structure spawn, well, which lets you spawn structures. And then with this one, you can basically define where it should spawn and how it should look like. So quite helpful. So yeah, that's it out of this category. So yeah, this is almost all. I forgot actually 2 tools that are in this mod pack, and somehow managed to go through. It's basically a GEI, as you see here, right? And the one, it's randomium. It's basically, you have an ore type, that's a new one, and it's this one. And it basically can drop all kinds of different random stuff, and you can combine it to craft, if you very rarely find it, to morph into that what has been crafted. So for example, if I put a diamond block in it, it will, with this one, actually create another diamond block, which is quite cool. So yeah, these two are still in here as well. I hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, have a nice day. Enjoy Minecraft, playing this mod pack. And look into the Modpack creators page. I think it's a very cool mod pack. And yeah, have a nice day. See ya.